finally made it out to the province to deliver the school supplies. Travel during COVID is not so easy. All the time on Facebook you will see the city, different provinces, Boracay, tourism board, everybody's posting. Everybody get out there. Let's get our domestic tourism going. Come on, let's go. And then the comments section is full, not with complaining foreigners, but with locals saying, how can we go anywhere when there are no guidelines? There's no semblance of order to any of the rules. For example, we've been trying to get out to the province since June. We got the first box of school supplies in February, but a second box was coming, so we were waiting. Once the second box came, between the city border, the province border, the particular town we wanted to go to, everybody was getting locked down, unlocked. This one's open, that one's closed. You can't get there. This is open and that's open, but in the middle's closed. It's like you can't plan a trip. It's insane. This month, first week of September, the governor and the mayor of Iloilo both came out with their rules for the entire month. They've been doing like 2 weeks at a time. This one is a little over 3 weeks. And all our borders are open. We are on a stricter lockdown than the Antique province. So we're like, okay, all we need is a travel pass and our ID. We're like, okay, that will get us out. To come back, all we need is our ID because we're returning to our home. She looked into it, I looked into it. It all sounded too simple. It was too simple. On the way out, there is a checkpoint at the city border. Only for those coming in. Going out, we didn't have to stop. Coming in, they were checking every single vehicle, and the line was backed up almost a mile. And I'm not exaggerating. I mean, it was almost a mile of traffic because it's one lane each way. Can't get too many cars at a time. And when you get a bus, they got to check everybody on the bus. It takes a while. So we saw that as we were leaving, and we were thinking, oh, so coming back is going to suck. Oh, well, that's next week. We won't worry about it yet. So we went on out, and there was no problem. Our main holdup was our van told us he was going to be here at 6. I did not believe he was going to be here at 6 a.m. I understand Filipino time, but he volunteered. He says, I will be there at 6. I'm thinking, maybe 9 o'clock or something, because he's coming from the other side of the island. He makes a morning trip to Iloilo and then back, and then he's done for the day. He's the one that volunteered 6 o'clock. I wouldn't ask for it that early. I didn't expect it that early. He didn't know how long that line was going to be coming into the city. He got here at 9:30. Even he was like, man, it's crazy. We're like, yeah, that's what we thought. Then we had to stop at auto parts store. Then we had to stop for gas. Then we had to pull over and just wait for the police because the police chief from some other town in Iloilo that I've never heard of brought him a giant box full of food to go somewhere else in the Antique province. So he was running some supplies as well, some food distribution. Finally got on the road about 10 o'clock. Not really a problem. It was all in fun. I'm not in any hurry. But I was amused. He said he'll be there at 6. We get out of Iloilo, going across. There's no checkpoints through Iloilo province at all. Not that they're there, but closed. There are no checkpoints. The only checkpoint was right at the boundary between Iloilo and Antique province. There's a big sign on the mountain, and then near that was one police checkpoint. They looked at our travel pass. They're like, cool, you can go. It was very easy. Going through the Antique province, it was raining almost the entire way, so I got like no video of the trip. But if you've seen a van ride or a bus ride, you've seen it. Pretty views, but didn't get any of it because it was raining the whole way. No checkpoints going in. We went all the way in, got to the province, got to the house, not an issue. Also, while going through the mountains, so pretty. You're going through this horrible mountain pass. Real narrow, real, mountain roads. It's twisty, it's turny, it's up and down, and it's in horrible condition because there's rock slides and mudslides. They always are repairing the road, so they're doing their best, but it's a mountain road, and it is what it is. But when you look out, these vistas, these beautiful valleys and multiple, all the mountain ranges, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's really pretty. And if you don't want to cross the mountain, you can take the beach road, and this whole view down on the lowlands along the beach that skips the mountain way, just as pretty. It's almost an hour longer, so most people don't do it. I've only done it once, and it is really nice. Both ways are fine. I can't fault either one of them because they're both gorgeous. But everyone's in a hurry, so they always take the mountain pass because it's faster. But it's just this long, long drive around, up, down. Everybody's going way too fast. It's kind of a scary mountain pass sometimes. But they have these really good stop where you can get all the peanut candies. They grow sugar right there, all the sugar canes, right off, as soon as you get off the mountain, really. So I don't know why they haul it up on the mountain for this. But they make all these crazy good sweets, candied coconut, candied peanuts, just all right there with that fresh molasses and sugar from the sugar canes. So we always stop because whoever's driving gets a free gift. They get something free. So each driver has their favorite store. So it doesn't matter. You're going to stop at one of them. So getting from Iloilo to Antique was, once we got the travel pass, shockingly easy. It was, like I said, only one single checkpoint at the border of the province. Now the province it's like the size of a Texas county, but it has a governor. So it's an odd little government unit. Each province has their own rules during the lockdown. This is where it gets complicated. They have the IATF, the task force, interagency task force that's supposed to make these rules. Then some rules come out of Manila. The president makes some rules. Then each governor makes their rules. And sometimes the city makes some rules, and it just starts getting complicated. I overuse the word clusterfuck here, but this is exactly what it is. The Antique province is under a less strict quarantine than Iloilo on paper. But the Antique governor is allowing every local government unit, LGU, to make their own rules. Filipinoism of the day, LGU, local government unit. It is used for various levels of government. On the way back was when we ran into problems. As I said, it was raining on the way to the province, so there were no borders, no checkpoints. Coming back was a beautiful sunny day. We had so many checkpoints. Every little Bodont town had a checkpoint. We had to stop, and some of them, as soon as you start to unfold your paper to show them your travel pass, so, okay, that's good. They just wanted to see if you were like, oh yeah, here's mine. They didn't want to look at it. Some of them looked at it. Some of them just kind of glanced at it. One place, they're looking at it, and I don't speak the language. They were speaking Korea, but I can tell when someone's being a jerk. This cop is looking at it, and I can catch a couple of words. They throw some English in there. He's like, travel pass? And she gives it to him and goes, no, this is like from Iloilo. Where's your travel? He looks at it as from Antique. Turns out he's saying, and he's the only one that said it, this travel pass only gets us out of Iloilo. We need a travel pass from Antique saying we can leave, when the IATF and the governor says our ID is all we need. But this little local guy has his own rules because there's no communication, there's no accountability. So it's really frustrating. This is why domestic tourism is not doing well, because everywhere you go is different. This guy's like, and I can tell he's getting, he's getting that I'm a badass, I'm gonna fuck with you attitude is what he was coming up with. I'm staying out of it because I don't speak the language anyway. He asks for her ID. He sees the name, and all of a sudden, oh, blah, 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 relative, blah, 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 cousin this, cousin. They starts talking Delanus River and this, and then turns out my cousin knows your cousin. Have a nice day. So what the hell? The rules don't apply unless they want them to, and they make up the rules. So domestic tourism is suffering. And this is why. As I said, on all the Facebook posts, there'll be just tons of people commenting going, how do we get anywhere when we don't know the rules from this town to that town to this town, going this direction, coming that? Everybody makes their own rules. There has to be one set. If you're at this quarantine level, these are the rules. At this quarantine level, this is, and then maybe the governors can adjust as needed. But to let every little barangay captain start making up rules is madness. So getting there was fine. Coming back was an absolute pain in the butt. And once we got out of Antique, which was on a lesser quarantine, we get into the tighter, more controlled quarantine of Iloilo. Not a single checkpoint. Like, doesn't have to make sense. So Facebook keeps posting a year ago today, and they're showing me all the stuff because a year ago we were in Boracay for our extended vacation, which was lovely. But it got me thinking, a year ago, travel was so much easier than it is now. They have completely lost their freaking minds. COVID is spreading. They're not able to stop it. They don't know what else to do, so they're just getting stricter and stricter on the lockdowns, which, I don't know. I think once it's already here and it's spreading, the lockdowns aren't working. So they're panicked, and I think some of them enjoy the power, but I shouldn't say that. But travel right now is absolute mayhem. There's just no semblance of order or organization. Not that I would really expect it, but it'd be nice. We can travel within Iloilo pretty easy. When we were where we were staying in Antique, we couldn't go to the next town without a travel pass. And we're like, whose idea is that? Y'all are on like general quarantine, we're on enhanced. Y'all shouldn't have travel passes. And they're like, every town has checkpoints. And I was like, that's crazy. And then we went through it and found out every town has checkpoints. Absolutely ridiculous. Nothing we can do about it. And we had a wonderful time. And as I said, the mountain drive is beautiful. It's really lovely. One of my favorite views is coming back from the mountain towards Iloilo. Right there in San Joaquin, there's this great left turn. You're going down straight towards the ocean, and it looks like you're going to go straight into the ocean unless you turn. And it's a real pretty place. I want to put a restaurant right there. That would just be gorgeous. But after a fun, what was it, 6 days? Yeah, I think it was 5 nights we were there. Had a good time, got all the school supplies delivered, and somehow made it through all the checkpoints by being polite and basically let them know that they are in charge and kiss their ass, and they're happy with that. What are you going to do? It works. And it also doesn't help if you find out you're cousins. Everybody here is cousins. We finally made it back into the city, and we got home and got all our candy, and we're going to be making bags of it to give a bunch to our security guards and our, I don't know what she's called, the lady that rented us this place. We treat her like a concierge, but she's really not. But giving everybody bags of candy. So fun was had by all. We're probably not going to do any more trips till they get all this straightened out, because right now is worse than a year ago, and is getting worse because everybody makes up their own rules. So I'm just going to stay home because these folks done gone crazy. Welcome to the Philippines.
Enjoy your day in paradise.
You're in